The Texas State Rec Center offers students the chance to face their fears and reach some new highs. The only requirement? You can't be afraid of heights. Are offering 4 free salsa lessons to students at Texas State. So if you want to learn some new moves, make new friends, this is the place to be. Future students at Texas State may have to learn a new system if tracks is replaced. An advisory committee at Texas State is evaluating whether an alternative to the learning system needs to be found. Comparing potential tracks replacements will be done this next year. The university's Board of Regents will have final say over Trax's future. The Rock Wall Climbing Center is an all-inclusive facility that sits in the heart of the Texas State Rec Center. Rock Wall attendant Nick Farrell says the view can't be beat.
The higher you get, the more free you are. Some of the climbing on real rock, some of the sights that you can see, 50, 60 feet in the air is pretty impressive. I mean, just being 54 feet up on our rock wall, you can see everything in the entire rec center. You can see over the basketball courts. You can watch a basketball game sitting on top of the rock wall.
The facility features 2 54-foot climbing towers where students can rope climb, and a bouldering center for students who don't like to be tied to a rope. Texas State graduate student Sarah Salisbury says there's a big difference between the 2 types of climbing.
Bouldering is without a rope, so it's unassisted climbing, and you only typically go up 20 or so feet at the max. There are highball boulders that are like way higher. But with top roping, you just tie in and then it's assisted climbing, so if you fall, you're not going to fall all the way down to the floor. Farrell encourages any level of climber to come and try out the wall.
You can start at the beginning of the semester and not feel bad about starting new. We truly try to bring everybody we can into the rock wall.
First-time climber Jacob Armitage says rock climbing brings out an assortment of feelings.
A little overwhelming at first, but actually having a lot of fun, and now I'm just tired. My arms are throbbing.
The rock wall actually played an important part when Salisbury was choosing to go to Texas State.
This was here, it was actually part of the reason that I picked Texas State was because they had a rock wall, and because climbing is such a huge part of my life, I needed a place where climbing was readily available.
If you want an adrenaline rush, the Rock Wall Climbing Center is open every day at the Rec Center. For Bobcat Update, I'm Zach Butler. The series of monologues written by Eve Ensler sheds light on violence and discrimination against women. Library assistant Donna Dean says the idea behind the reading was to make people more aware of the issues.
It's also a great statement to make to raise awareness, especially with college campuses that have a high sexual assault rate on campus, tackling rape on campus.
Students could sign up to be part of the reading or just be observers. Undergraduate librarian Lauren Flores says the event was a collaborative effort involving Texas State faculty members and V-Day, a nonprofit organization that tries to stop violence against women.
We can't just go out and perform this. We actually have to communicate with vday.org and get permission and register. So one of the cool things about our particular production is that it's all volunteer and we were allowed to have it be free.
Around 25 students and faculty came to support the effort and to celebrate the play. One volunteer even reprised her monologue from 17 years ago. Liz King says that it was surprisingly emotional for her to be a part of the reading.
But I was 24 then, and so I related to a lot of the, younger parts of the monologue. And then as the monologue goes on, it talks about as the woman gets older and has children and becomes a mother. And so I think I reacted more to the later part of the monologue now.
Students who attended were encouraged to donate to Hayes Caldwell Women's Center. For Bobcat Update, I'm Zach Butler. As the school year winds down, so are several San Marcos construction projects. The engineering and science building at Woods and Comanche is expected to be completed by July. Meanwhile, the $20 million overpass next to the football stadium is in the fast lane and should be finished by the end of the summer. Strahan Coliseum, which will now be known as the University Event Center, will add 68,000 square feet when its expansion is done in November, and the Haven apartment complex at Thorpe Lane is expected to be finished in June. Investigators are still looking into why a woman was killed aboard a Southwest Airlines flight this week. The flight was headed to Dallas when it made an emergency landing in Philadelphia yesterday. One of the aircraft's engines apparently broke midair and debris flew into the cabin, killing one of the passengers and injuring 7 others. The Dallas-based airline says this is the first passenger death in its 50-year history. The NFL and Papa John's have mutually decided to end the pizza restaurant's official league sponsorship. This comes just 4 months after Papa John's former CEO John Schneider blamed the NFL's handling of the national anthem protest for the restaurant chain's declining sales. Papa John's says the league will remain an important venue for the company, but other ways to reach its audience will be used. Pizza Hut will now replace Papa John's as an official sponsor.